We have a major problem on board ABC, and like all major problems, they come at the most inopportune moments, because I am just 3 days away from flying back to the UK for a long weekend, which will mean Aannsha's left in charge with the captain's hat on, and we must get this problem fixed before I leave. In this video, we'll tell you what the problem is, what the symptoms are that pointed us towards the problem, and what we're going to do to fix it. Clue or symptom that something was wrong came in the middle of the night. As I lay awake, I was listening to the compressor of the refrigerator, and it was making a noise that it never made before. Now initially I just thought maybe the compressor was on the way out, and so eventually it would die and we'd have to replace it. But the more I listened, the more it seemed to me that it was an electrical problem. What I was listening to was the fridge compressor switching on, staying on for a short space of time, and then switching off, and then almost immediately switching back on again for a short space of time before switching off. The next clue that something was wrong came from Aannsha.
The second clue that something was wrong was in the toilet, and at first I thought it was my imagination, but when I flushed it in the morning, the sound seemed odd. It sounded flat. So I mentioned it to Baz, and he said, "Funny you should say that. Mine did exactly the same thing this morning as well."
The third clue that something was wrong came from our computers. I looked down into the bottom right hand corner and noticed that even though I was plugged into the electrical outlet, the battery of the computer wasn't being charged. Time to investigate. Housed under the port aft bunk is our battery bank, and as you can see, all 4 batteries were replaced in June 2018. So they're certainly not old batteries. You can see that all 3 house batteries are down to around about 10 volts, which basically means they are dead. Time for car hire and a mission to go and find replacement batteries. Just behind us is a rent-a-car. We've actually hired it for 3 days because on the evening of the 3rd day I'm going to drop this car off at Athens International Airport, because that's when I'm getting on an aeroplane to go to the UK. So we're off today on our first mission, which is to find 3 replacement house batteries for the boat. Well, our trusty sat-nav got us all the way to the outskirts of Athens, to the battery place that you can see behind us, and inside there's a very helpful gentleman who knows all about batteries. And he's going to sell us 3 batteries that we need, hopefully. Come and take a look. The size of the batteries has to be important to us because the space that they're fitted in, they have to be exactly the right size. So the largest we could get was 100 amp hours, which is only 5 amp hours more than the previous batteries we had in. Ευχαριστώ. Now we're going to find another mission.
Yes, something to do with computers and also boat shoes. Guess which is more important to me?
Girls.
Parking's a premium in Athens.
You say that again.
It's like Mercia revisited.
Yeah. But we found a little spot just at the top of the road when we thought we were going to have to go back around a one-way system again, but our parking angel came through again.
Yay.
So, off to the computer shop now, where we hope to buy some car adapters for our laptops. Because currently we're taking 12 volts, shoving it through the inverter to 220 volts, then shoving it through the computer charger pack from 220 down to 19 volts, and that's a lot of wasted energy. Crazy energy. So we're looking for something that's going to take us from 12 volts straight to 19 volts and straight into the laptops.
Yeah.
And there's a computer store down here that might just do the trick.
It took a while to find this place and they don't sell them.
Yeah, a big store with lots of computer stuff and phone stuff and tablet stuff, but they don't have the 12 volt inverters. They only do 220 volts. She did give us a lead on another place called Carcass, which is on the main road here, so when we get back to the car we can put the internet on, Google it, find the address, pump that into the sat nav, and off we go again.
Yes.
This is it, and it looks like it's shut down. That's not good. Yep, that is definitely a shop that's closed. Bugger.
Okay.
The mission continues.
Yeah, it certainly does. Talk to me, Baz.
Well, we struck out that time. We found the store recommended to us, but it was really just a domestic electrical store with, you know, wall lights and ceiling lights and things like that.
Yeah.
So he's pointed us in the direction of a computer store, but it's quite a way away from the sounds of things. He didn't know the address, so he's given the name of the place to us. So it's back to the car, back to Google, and we'll see how we go from there.
Yeah.
So this mission is turning out to be during the midday heat. We've just bought ourselves a nice, really cold bottle of water, but it's a bit bland. But luckily, where we're walking, there are lots of lime trees. So we're going to pluck some limes and put some lime juice into the water.
Yeah.
There's two prime candidates right there.
Alright, Kotsovolos was not the answer. But apparently 150 metres in this direction is the place that will have the answers to all our dreams.
Yeah, right.
Or at least our connection for the computers.
Well, that was another strikeout, but we have two leads from that guy in there. One is Cosmo Data and the other one is Palacio.
So,
Apparently they're just up here.
there's lots of cafes around here as well, so I'm thinking, you know, when we've done the do and found what we're looking for, we might just stop for something.
Yeah, maybe.
It's way past lunchtime.
It certainly is. I'm getting a bit over this mission now.
So am I. Nope.
Nope, another strikeout. That's got to be strikeout number 6, isn't it?
I've given up counting.
We've got another lead.
Yeah.
Strike 7.
I think we may have exhausted all our options, Baz.
The thing is, I do know you can get them.
Yeah.
And everyone is telling me, well, you can't get a 12 volt adapter that steps up to 19 volts.
Yeah.
But I know you can get them.
Yeah.
We've seen them online.
Right.
So I think we might give up on this mission for now, and then when we get back to the boat, we can have a look at
Amazon.
ebay.co.uk,
Yeah.
and if they have them there, I can get them shipped to my brother's house in time for me arriving at the weekend.
Yeah. Well, I think Amazon may be a quicker bet, but yeah.
Yeah, Amazon, eBay, something, I don't know, we'll figure something out. Right now though, it's hot, it's well after lunch, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Mission not accomplished, but we're still on the mission.
Yeah.
Now let's find some food, eh?
That sounds like a plan.
For lunch we chose this place called Simply Burgers, and it's just been delivered, and we think it's more than simple burgers. These are great looking burgers. El Diablo. And a Swiss cheese.
Yeah.
I got up this morning as soon as there was enough daylight in the sky to allow me to work, because obviously with disconnected batteries I'd have no house lights to illuminate my workspace. And as you can see now, we have our 3 brand new Varta 100 amp hour batteries in place, and I've also moved the original Varta starter motor battery into the separate container because my OCD was kicking in having the starter motor battery in the middle of 2 house batteries. So I've neatened things up a little bit. The sun is up and our solar is working, but just looking at the batteries right now, 12.77 in that one, 12.77 there, and 12.77 there. And if we have a look at our starter battery, $12.85. So beautiful. So here's a question for all of you in the know about batteries. This is a 95 amp hour 12 volts. The new ones we put in are 100 amp hour 12 volts. They are Varta and this one is Bosch. Now I've just tested this one and it's got 12.16 volts in it. Now if I show you the voltage on the definite dead one, 10.5, that is definitely dead. So my question is, can I mix and match Bosch and Varta, and does the amp hours make a difference with the system? If I can utilise this as the fourth house battery, that would make me a happy camper. Yesterday I had a thought about our Victron battery monitor, and my thought proved to be quite correct. The guy who originally installed the solar and the battery monitor hadn't set it up correctly. We now have three 100 amp hour batteries, which, if you want to be realistic, would technically give you 150 amp hours of usage before you start to damage the batteries. So I came to the battery monitor and I set it up to show available amp hours at 150. It's now 7:45 in the morning after a proper night of battery usage, and we can see it's now showing 79.5% of available amp hours. So if we scroll through the numbers here, we can see we've got 240 hours of potential battery usage left. That's only showing that much now because there's not much draw on the system at the moment. The batteries are at 12.55 volts. We're currently drawing nothing in amps. We've got 0 watts being drawn, and we've used 35.2 amp hours overnight, which correlates back to 79.5% of available battery amp hours. So now we've got this set up correctly, we can really monitor what's going on with our battery drain or usage. It's just on sunset on Thursday the 3rd of October, and Aannsha's on the boat, ABC, she's parked over there, and I am about to get into this car and drive myself to Athens International Airport. I'm heading back to the UK for 3 days to attend a reunion of Tenerife workers. Some of the people who are going to be there I haven't seen in 30 years. It's going to be so great to catch up. There's a little bit of concern from both Aannsha and I about leaving Aannsha alone with the boat, particularly because the weather is not steady. It's very changeable, and today was a good example of that. We had a squall that came through, and we had a complete rain whiteout and 40 knots of wind, and I think in a way it was kind of good because we were able to test that the anchor was in and it stayed in. So there should be just one more bit of bad weather tomorrow afternoon, and then it should be good for the rest of the weekend. Anyway, let's go to the airport, eh? So we're through check-in and we're through security, and we've still got about an hour and 45 minutes before the flight begins to board. So what else is a bloke to do except drink a beer? Cheers. As you can probably tell, it's night time. Well, it's not really night time, it's dusk time. And at dusk time on a Friday evening, what do you do when you're at your bro's place? You go out to the local pub and you have dinner and a few pints. And I think the pub of choice is just ahead, because there's lots of cars parked here, and I can see warm glowing lights in the distance. It's food time! I've got a steak and wobbly ale pie. Big Jeff's got the hake, and the little Jeffs are going for the burgers. With tomato sauce, of course. Saturday just after lunchtime, and now Big Steve, or Big Jeff, is taking us to the next destination, which is the motel I've got to check in to for tonight's accommodation. So we're currently driving through some very nice, very English countryside with very English houses and hedgerows, bringing back an awful lot of memories. There's even an old red phone box. Well, this is it. Saturday night, we're at the venue, the Borough Club in Bury in Manchester, and there's a few people inside already. More to come. Follow me inside. We'll go and check it out. Next week on Sailing ABC, it's a tale of 2 weekends as Aannsha battles the high seas, wearing the captain's hat on board ABC in Greece, while I catch up with some mates I haven't seen for 30 years in Bury in Manchester, UK. As regulars, you should know by now what to do at the end of the video. Leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to see future releases of Sailing ABC.